I killed 12 men before my coffee got cold. Then the most dangerous man in the city offered me a job. My grandmother used to say, Agu anagi fa mg beo na agba oso. A lion doesn't roar when it runs. For 2 years I'd been running. Silent, invisible, forgotten. But lions? We don't forget we have teeth. My name is Lucio Conquo, former Ghost 7, Black Operations Division. 37 confirmed kills across 4 continents. The US government's favorite weapon until I became their biggest liability. Now I'm a waitress in a city that eats people like me for breakfast. Let me tell you how I stopped running. The Azure Palace smelled like old money and new sins. Truffle oil, imported cigars, fear, disguised as cologne. I moved between tables, carrying a tray of champagne flutes, my reflection fractured in a dozen crystal chandeliers. 28 years old, brown skin that made customers either ignore me completely or stare too long. Hair pulled back tight. Uniform, pressed. Smile, automatic. Nobody looks at the help. That's why it's the perfect disguise. Lucy? Table 7. Maria hissed from the bar. She was Dominican, had 3 kids, and didn't ask questions. I liked her for that. Table 7. Always the same man. Always alone. Kim Jae-sung. Byem. The Viper. I'd done my research the day I started working here. Born in Seoul. Survived the streets. Built an empire on gambling, guns, and the kind of violence that made grown men piss themselves. The scar running through his left eyebrow? Rumor said he got it from his own father before he killed him. I approached with a water pitcher. He looked up, and I felt it, that predator's assessment. The way soldiers look at a battlefield. The way killers look at targets. He knew something was wrong with me. He just didn't know what yet. Water? My American accent was flawless. Midwest neutral. Forgettable. Thank you, Lucy. His English was perfect too, but underneath it, I heard soul. Busan, the docks where boys became wolves or corpses. I poured, turned to leave. The front door exploded inward, glass and wood and screaming. 12 men in tactical gear flooded in like black water. Automatic weapons, professional formation. This wasn't a robbery. This was an execution. Todos al suelo. Now. The dining room became chaos. Tables overturning, women shrieking, men scrambling. That animal panic when prey realizes the predator is here. I dropped the pitcher, let it shatter, went down with the crowd. But my hands weren't shaking, my heart wasn't racing. I was counting. 12 shooters, 3 at the door, 4 sweeping left, 5 moving right toward the private rooms, toward Kim Jae-sung. Military training, cartel colors. This was Los Reyes, Paulo's men. Fuck. We're here for the Viper. The lead gunman shouted in Spanish. Everyone else gets to go home tonight. Stay down. I stayed down, watched through the forest of overturned chairs as they advanced on table 7. Kim hadn't moved. He sat there like a man waiting for his check. Hands folded on the white tablecloth, no fear in his eyes. Just calculation, like he was playing chess and we were all pieces. The lead gunman pressed his rifle barrel against Kim's temple. Paulo Reyes sends his regards. Cabron. Any last words? That name, Paulo Reyes, head of Los Reyes Cartel. The man who'd spent 2 years and $5 million trying to find Ghost 7. The man whose brother I'd killed in Medellin. The man who'd never stop hunting me. I had 3 choices. 1. Stay down. Stay hidden. Let Kim die. Stay alive. 2. Run. Out the kitchen. Disappear again. Start over. Again. 3. Stop pretending. My grandmother's voice in my head. Agu anagi fa mgbeo na agba oso. I stood up. Every gun in the room swung toward me. Hey. My voice cut through the chaos like a blade. No accent now. Pure. Clear. You got the wrong guy. Paulo wants me. The lead gunman's eyes narrowed, behind his mask. Who the fuck are you? Lucio Conquo. But you knew me as Ghost 7. I smiled. I'm the bitch who put a bullet in Mateo Reyes's skull 2 years ago. The room went silent. Even Kim's expression changed, eyes widening just a fraction. Surprise. Interest. Recognition. Impossible. The gunman breathed. Ghost 7 is dead. Rumors of my death were greatly exaggerated. I tilted my head. But I can show you how I earned the name. Then I moved. The nearest gunman was 6 feet away. I closed it in 2 steps. My hand shot out, grabbed his rifle. Barrel, twisted hard. The weapon discharged into the ceiling. Plaster rained down. I drove my elbow into his throat, felt the cartilage crunch like dry leaves. He dropped, choking on his own windpipe. I had his sidearm out before he hit the marble. Pop, pop. 2 shots. 2 bodies. Center mass. The way they taught me in Bragg. The room exploded. Muzzle flashes lit up the Azure Palace like a dance club in hell. Bullets chewed through marble and mahogany and crystal. The chandelier above me swayed, crystals singing their death song. I was already moving, table to pillar to bar. This was muscle memory. This was who I really was under the uniform, and the smile and the 2 years of pretending to be human. A bullet punched through the pillar inches from my skull. I felt the heat kiss my cheek. Rolled left. Came up firing. 3 rounds. The shooter's chest opened up like a flower. Red petals on white marble. Matanla, kill that bitch! They were panicking. Formation broken. Discipline cracking like ice. I vaulted over the bar. Grabbed Maria's wrist. Kitchen. Lock the door. Don't come out until the shooting stops. She stared at me like I'd peeled off my face. Lucy, what? Go. She ran. 2 gunmen rushed the bar. The first one got a bottle of Cristal to the face. Champagne and glass and blood. He screamed. Beautiful. His partner fired wild. I was already inside his guard, hand on, his weapon, redirecting. I made him shoot his own teammate. 4 rounds stitched across the man's chest. I drove my knee into the shooter's groin, felt something pop. Stripped his rifle as he folded. Smashed the stock into his temple. The sound was like a baseball bat hitting a watermelon. 7 down, 5 to go. The lead gunman had regained control. Formación. Box her in. They moved to surround me. Professional again. Coordinated. I needed chaos. I looked across the carnage at Kim Jae-sung. He was watching me like I was the most interesting thing he'd ever seen. Not afraid. Not shocked. Fascinated. Our eyes locked. You want to live? I shouted. Get down. He dropped. Finally, I grabbed a silver serving tray, sent it spinning through the air like a discus. It caught the closest gunman in the face, cracked his nose, destroyed his aim. He staggered. I charged through the gap. The remaining 5 opened fire. I felt bullets pass so close they heated my skin. Felt one tug at my uniform inches from my spine. Slid under a table, rolled, came up behind their line. In their blind spot, the worst place an enemy could be. The nearest shooter never saw me coming. 2 rounds to the spine. He dropped like a puppet with cut strings. I used his falling body as a shield. Advanced on the next target. 3 shots. Tight grouping. He went down, spraying blood. 3 left. The leader was screaming. Retirada. Fall back. Too late, pendejo. Too fucking late. I came around the pillar like death in a waitress uniform. The first shooter tried to swing his rifle around. I caught the barrel, used his momentum, slammed him face first into the wall. His head bounced off marble. I felt his skull crack under my hands. Lights out. The second one was smarter. Dropped his rifle, went for his knife. We grappled. He was strong, trained, probably ex-military like me, but I was angrier. My grandmother's voice. Oke ochi gibu. Gi oburuna. Ichefuna ibuagu. The hyena kills you when you forget you're a lion. I twisted his knife hand. Bones snapped like dry twigs. He screamed. I drove my forehead into his nose, felt cartilage explode. Blood flooded my vision. I didn't care. I threw him into the ornamental fish tank. Glass shattered. Water and koi fish and broken man spilled across the floor. He didn't get up. The leader had his rifle trained on me. His hands were shaking, mask pulled aside. He was young. 23 maybe. Baby face with dead eyes. Don't move. I raised my hands. Smiled. Tasted blood. Not sure if it was mine. You're empty. What? Your magazine. You're empty. His face went white. He pulled the trigger anyway. Click. I closed the distance, wrapped my hand around his throat, lifted him off his feet, slammed him down so hard the marble cracked like thunder. I leaned close to his dying face. Tell Paulo. I whispered in Spanish. La fantasma recuerda. The ghost remembers. His eyes emptied. 90 seconds. 12 bodies. The Azure Palace looked like Sarajevo, and in the center of it all, Kim Jae-sung stood slowly from his cover, adjusting his tie, looking at me with those cold, calculating eyes. The silence stretched like razor wire. You're bleeding, he said calmly. I looked down. He was right. Through and through. Left side. Lower ribs. Adrenaline had masked it. Now it hit like a freight train. The room tilted. My knees buckled. Kim crossed the carnage in 3 strides. Caught me before I fell. His hands were surprisingly gentle for a man called the Viper. Easy, he murmured. His cologne smelled like cedar and gunpowder. How long have you been hiding? Ghost 7. 2 years. Blood soaked through my uniform. Warm, sticky. 2 years running. 2 years pretending to be nobody. And now? Now! The edges of my vision were going dark. Now they'll never stop. He looked at me for a long moment. Then something happened I didn't expect. He smiled. Not the cold smile of the Viper. Something else. Something human? Good. Kim Jae-sung said, lifting me easily in his arms. Because I'm about to make you an offer, Lucio Conquo. And I promise it's better than minimum wage and bad tips. The world went black. I woke up screaming. Not from pain. From memory. Medellin. Sarah's blood on my hands. Her last words. Don't stop fighting. Lucy. Lucy. You're safe. A voice. Male. Familiar. My eyes snapped open. I grabbed the wrist touching my shoulder, twisted. Had the man's arm hyperextended before my brain caught up. Kim Jae-sung. In black tactical pants and a white t-shirt. Scars crisscrossing his arms like a roadmap of violence. No fear in his eyes even though I could break his elbow with a twitch. Good reflexes, he said calmly. Can I have my arm back? I released him, fell back against silk sheets, looked around. This wasn't a hospital. Too nice. Floor-to-ceiling windows, city lights sprawling below, classical music, Chopin, I think. Nocturnes. Where am I? My home. He rolled his shoulder, checking the joint. You needed stitches. "13 of them. My personal physician handled it. No hospitals, no police. Because you saved my life. Because you're worth more alive than dead." He sat in a leather chair by the window, a glass of whiskey in his hand. And because I need you, Lucio Conquo. The memories came flooding back. The attack. 12 bodies. Paulo Reyes. Fuck. I tried to sit up. Pain lanced through my side like fire. He knows I'm alive now. Paulo. He'll send more. I need to... Run? Kim's voice was sharp. Where? How far did running get you in 2 years? A waitress job and a studio apartment in the worst part of the city? The truth hit harder than the bullet. What do you want from me? My voice came out rough. He stood. Walked to the window. The city lights made him look like a painting. All sharp edges and shadows. Let me tell you what I know. Ghost 7. Black Ops, 37 confirmed kills. Specialized in impossible extractions and political assassinations. You disappeared after Medellin after you put a bullet in Mateo Reyes's brain. Paulo has spent $5 million and 2 years trying to find you. You did your homework. I make it a point to know who's serving me water. He turned. But here's what you don't know. I'm at war with Los Reyes too. 6 months. They've been attacking my shipments, burning my businesses, killing my people. Paulo wants my territory and my head. So, you want a bodyguard? No. He crossed back to the bed, sat on the edge. Close enough I could see the flecks of gold in his dark eyes. I want a partner. I laughed. It hurt. Why the fuck would you offer that? Because I recognize a survivor when I see one. Because you're the most dangerous person I've ever met. Because... He paused. Something flickered across his face. Because I'm tired of being alone. The weight of those words settled between us. You don't know me, I said quietly. I know you killed 12 men to protect a room full of strangers. I know you could have run, but chose to stand. I know you've been hiding who you really are for 2 years. He leaned closer. I know exactly what that feels like. Silence. In Seoul, he continued. Before I became the Viper, I had a partner, Han Tae-young. We survived the streets together, built everything together. His jaw tightened. He took a bullet meant for me, died in my arms. His last words were, "Don't become a monster." He looked at his hands, scarred, deadly. I failed him. I became exactly what he feared. But maybe... His eyes met mine. Maybe with the right partner, I can remember what it's like to be human. My throat was tight. I had a partner too, Sarah Martinez, Marine sniper, 3 years together. She died in Medellin protecting my extraction. I touched the bandage on my side. She told me not to stop fighting, but I've been running ever since. So, we're both cowards, Kim said softly. Speak for yourself. He smiled. There she is. The lion. What exactly are you offering? Protection. Resources. Access to everything I have. Partnership means we watch each other's backs. When Paulo comes, and he will, you won't face him alone. He extended his hand. But this only works if we're equals. I don't want a subordinate. I want someone who'll tell me when I'm wrong. Someone I can trust. I stared at his hand. 2 years. 2 years of fear and hiding and pretending to be someone else. 2 years of forgetting. I was a lion. Agu anagi fa mgba ona agba oso. Time to stop running. Partners. I said, gripping his hand. But equals. I don't become another weapon in your arsenal. His grip was firm. I wouldn't have it any other way. One more thing, I added. If we do this, we do it my way. Strategic. Surgical. No unnecessary bloodshed. We're not monsters just because we're good at killing. Something shifted in his expression. Respect, maybe. Agreed. But there's something you need to know. He released my hand, walked to a hidden panel in the wall. It slid open, revealing monitors, maps, surveillance feeds. Paulo isn't my only problem. What do you mean? 3 days ago, someone inside my organization leaked our shipping routes to Los Reyes. Someone close. Someone I trust. His voice went cold. There's a traitor in my house, Lucy. And I don't know who. My blood chilled. A mole. Which means this war just became exponentially more dangerous. He pulled up files on the main screen. My inner circle. One of them wants me dead. I forced myself to stand. Pain screamed through my side. Ignored it. Walked to the screens. 7 faces. 6 men. 1 woman. Tell me about them. Yoon Min Jae, head of security. 8 years with me. Former ROK. Special forces. Military. Disciplined. Loyal. Until he's not. Park Soo-jin, finance. She's been with me from the beginning. Knows where every dollar goes. Follow the money. Always. Choi Dae-jung, logistics coordinator. Stop. I pointed at the screen. I need to know something first. Why do you trust me? Kim turned. Our eyes locked. Because you had 100 chances to kill me tonight. You didn't. You protected me. You revealed yourself to save a stranger. He stepped closer. And because I see it in your eyes, Lucy, the same thing I see in mine when I look in the mirror, we're both trying to be more than what we were made to be. What were we made to be? Weapons, monsters, ghosts and vipers. His voice was barely a whisper. But maybe together, we can remember we're human. I should have walked away. Should have run again. Should have known that partnerships in this world end in blood. But I was tired. So fucking tired of being alone. Okay. I heard myself say. Show me everything. Every operation. Every person. Secret. If we're hunting a traitor, I need to see your whole world. Kim smiled that dangerous smile. Welcome to the war, Ghost. We spent the next 3 hours going through files. Every operation, every attack, every pattern. By 3 a.m., I had a theory. The leak started 6 months ago? Yes. And the attacks have been precise. Almost. Personal. What are you thinking? I pulled up surveillance footage from 3 months ago. A shipping container raid at the port. Froze the frame. There. Background. That man. Kim leaned in. His breath was warm on my neck. That's one of Min Jae's team. But he died 2 weeks ago. Motorcycle accident. Was it really an accident? His jaw clenched. Fuck. The traitor isn't working alone. They have help. Inside help. This is bigger than one person. Jae-sung. This is a network. He slammed his fist on the desk. For the first time, I saw the viper. The monster underneath the control. Then we burn it all down. Every rat, every snake. We burn it all. No. I grabbed his wrist. We do this smart, surgical. We identify every link in the chain. Then we use them. Use them. I smiled. We feed them false information. Let them think they're winning. And when Paulo comes for us with everything he has, we'll be ready. We'll be ready. Our faces were inches apart. His eyes were dark fire. Mine probably looked the same. This was dangerous. This partnership. This. Whatever this was becoming. But I'd spent 2 years being safe. Being invisible. Being dead. Time to be alive again. Get some rest, Kim said quietly. Tomorrow we start hunting. Tomorrow we show these bastards what happens when they wake up the ghost and the viper. One question, I said as he turned to leave. Yes? Why did you stay at table 7 tonight? You knew something was wrong. You could have left. He smiled. That human smile again. Because I was curious about you. The waitress who moved like a soldier. Who had kill or be killed eyes. I wanted to see what you'd do when the masks came off. And? You were magnificent. He left. The door closed softly. I stood at the window, looking out at the city. Somewhere out there, Paulo Reyes was planning his next move. Somewhere in Kim's organization, a traitor was sleeping soundly. But tonight, I wasn't alone. Tonight, I had a partner, Ghost 7 and the Viper. This was either going to save us both or destroy us. Either way, I was done running. Agu anagi fa mgbe ona agba oso. A lion doesn't roar when it runs. Time to roar. Tomorrow. The hunt begins. Tomorrow. We identify the traitor. Tomorrow, Paulo Reyes learns what happens when you back a ghost and a viper into the same corner. But some betrayals cut deeper than blood. And some monsters were created by the people we trusted most. Episode 2. The Network. The hunt for the traitor begins, and the body count rises.